Alright, here we go. I think it's been at least a week since my last update, so here we are. Alright, let's start in this way and then we'll go our way around that way, I guess. In this pop-up enclosure, I originally thought, you know what? It's mid-July. That on-deck hybrid corn said, I think it says 60, 65 days to maturity. Let me try it, see what happens. And I thought, nah, never mind. I want to try the rutabaga in here. So, actually, then I had planted like an inch deep, which the corn says, and then I added like another layer of plant mix on top of that. And thought, okay, well they won't make it up through that, so I'll just plant the rutabaga on top of that. Well, they did. So now I got to decide what I want. Do I want to try the corn, or do I want to try the rutabaga? And then you can see they're all coming up. Corn looking like grass there. It's called on-deck hybrid, meant for containers. And then you can also see the rutabaga, which kind of looks like a radish or a turnip seedling. So, yeah, we'll see. I haven't decided what I want to try with that. These are the fire and ice radishes. They're complaining about the heat a little bit. They kind of have flopped over. They were standing nice and tall, and once the stem started to, once the red part there really started to develop, then they kind of fell over. I could try to baby these guys, stand them up straight, add some soil. I may do that. Maybe I'll do that after this video. See if I can help them out a little bit, because you can see this one is standing up and kind of developing a little bit. They're supposed to be 30 to 35 days. No, 25 days maybe. I don't know, something like that, but around 30. Which would be mid-August. So they're going to have to start developing soon. So we'll see what happens with that. I think that's another radish, just as a test. I'll put it in these coffee containers, see if I can grow single ones in just a container, used container of coffee. This is another grow bag of potatoes. It's probably a mix of Baltic Rose and the Kennebecs or Yukon Golds, whatever I dug up last year as volunteers. I don't know what's in what bag. But you see the ones in the front that I guess that was before I harvested them last video, but I have pictures that I showed you of the potatoes last time. But these potatoes are not really dying back yet. I mean, they have a lot of green growth on there yet. And this one was just flowering again a little bit up here, so, a lot of green growth in there. I know it's kind of blends in with the stuff behind it, but both these pots still have a lot of green, so I'm going to giving them at least another couple weeks. The basil, I really haven't been topping it like I should be. Parsley. I started the parsley from seed myself. This is all me. Let's see. Let's go over here. Sunchokes, way up high. So they're probably 8-9 feet now. Yeah, they're up there. The tomatoes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try harvesting the tomatoes and try doing fried green tomatoes with them. I'm just going to go in today and pick a bunch, try to make a batch of fried green tomatoes with them, little fried green tomato bites kind of, which we can then freeze. And that way I don't have to worry about, do I rip these out for my fall garden, or do I keep them in? Do I hope they die before that and not have to worry about it? Well, now if I do that, and I'll just harvest like whatever's green, I'll harvest for green tomatoes, that's all. And that way nothing will go to waste. They probably would go further into frost if I really took care of them a little more, but I don't have to worry about it. I'll just, whatever I get by then, I get by then. The pole beans, still not seeing a whole lot of production out of them, which is kind of surprising. I don't know if it's the heat, but it just seems like they're taking a little bit longer in production than usual, so that's slightly concerning. I don't know if I'll do them again next year. They grow crazy and wild, and it's just too much. Alright, spearmint. This was bought as a transplant, but you see it's bushing out a little bit. I did harvest it a little bit a couple weeks ago. I think that's another radish down there. The strawberry runner is still kind of poking along. I think there's more radishes, just as a test to see if they'll grow in different size containers. Turnips. The peppers are really starting to ripen now. I harvested a bunch yesterday. They're inside. They're all ripening to orange. And these are the ones, I tested one of these yesterday, ripe. It was not hot at all, just a little hint of spice up near the seeds are, but not a whole lot. These jalapenos are starting to, some of them are ripening red. And there's some more over here. Another parsley. Another parsley. And this is the store-bought potatoes. Again, still green, chugging along. So I'm just, water it every few days. Try not to overwater it. But yeah, there's still a lot of green, so it's not dying back yet. So just kind of chugging along. This was originally the strongest blackberry, and I guess it technically still is the most vigorous one of the three that I had gotten. I had already pruned it at about, I don't know, I guess it was about 4 foot, and you see all these lateral growths. This one over here, I think, is actually a new cane. I think that's a prima cane, but it's not really priming because it's coming from like the base. So I'm not sure, like, it's not coming from underground as a new cane. It's coming from an existing cane above ground, but like only like a ½ inch above ground. So I don't know what that's considered. I may tip prune this morning since, I don't know. I may. But the lateral branches that I tip pruned the original prima cane that was up at about 4.5 foot. And then you see this, I think, yeah, this is a lateral. And it's got a bud. This is I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's a lateral, and that has bud. And then like this one out here is a lateral, and that has a bud there, you can see. So yeah, that seems to be the idea. Yeah, which I wish when this one I would have done that. Now this one, see, this is the prime. Well, this is the original prima cane on this one, but it only got to about, you see here, about 2 foot. Although if it would be standing up, it'd be maybe close to 3. But this cane then came up, and it got to about 4 foot, and then it started fruiting, setting fruit, which I should have not really let it do. I should have tip pruned it, and now I'd get laterals, and now I've one set of fruit clusters instead of multiple branches, which, live and learn. Yeah, you do not want to let it set fruit. Really, I don't think. I mean, we'll see what happens next year with the other ones. Like this one, this prima cane got up, and I tip pruned it maybe a week ago, right up here, and now you see all the lateral growth starting, which, like one of these ones right here, right there, further on down the cane there and there, and there, and those ones should fruit. Hopefully. I mean, these ones further down aren't coming along as much, but we'll see. We'll see how many laterals it forms, which then should hopefully fruit in the fall, or if not, next spring. And now next spring, I don't know. We'll see how we go from there. Still trying to manage these for most highest yield, so I'm still learning it. I'm new to blackberries, new to my specific climate conditions, so. Because some people live in climates that may be warmer or cooler, so they behave differently and they're managed slightly differently. See, like, I'm just concerned now, like, once this fruits, this is going to be at least another few weeks before I get anything from these. So is that going to leave time for laterals to form and laterals to produce fruit this year, or is that something that's going to be next year? I don't know. The edamame are very, very close. Very, very close, but they are just loaded. I mean, that entire stalk on this plant, for example, is filled with fruit. And look at this one. I mean, the entire thing. And look at this again. just phenomenal production. So now at this point, it's just trying to get the biggest. See, and then look at this, and you're supposed to harvest them once the pods swell and start almost touching before they turn yellow. So I guess the idea is once you hear a hint of yellow, harvest them, you know, or right before that, because really the harvest window, they say, is only a few days. But I'm looking out there now, and they are very, very close. I don't know if I want to wait another week for me to be off, because they might be overripe by that point. So I may go ahead and harvest them today. Otherwise, I'll have to wake up early one day, harvest them all, because it's a whole big process. So yeah, I may have to. But they're just loaded. There's so many of them. I'm just trying to get some good pictures here. Oh, hi. Yeah. They're just loaded. Yep. Anyway, they did phenomenal, so I'm really excited about those. And oh, here's some green onions over here. And these ones aren't doing as great. This one has a little bulb on it, which is nice. Just like these ones over here, which have bulbed up nicely. Just regular green onions that actually bulbed up. The bush beans are starting to produce. I haven't harvested any yet. I may harvest some today and then freeze them. Depends if I may. Yeah, see, like there's back there. There's some. Let me see if I can get that a little better. Yeah, there's some. They're starting. And some more green onions here. And another cherry tomato. The cherry tomatoes are just. They're just just so vigorous. I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay. The carrots. These are the Nantes Supreme. Not huge, but I mean there'll be something there. Oh, this is the second sunchoke patch. You see how tall they are. They're going halfway up the house. Almost to. Well, it looks like the bathroom window, but it's not really that close. But they are maybe 10 foot tall. These ones. Oh, the sage. Green onions planted thickly. As opposed to thinly, so these guys won't bulb up, but I wanted to have some both ways. The golden beets. I'm still curious to see if these guys do anything. I mean, a tiny little thing there. I can't get that to focus. Not really much as far as bulb production yet on these guys. The onion, or not the onions, these are the kaleidoscope mix carrots. These ones are doing better than the other ones. You look, let me get in there. Look at that. That's going to be a nice carrot right there. That's probably the biggest one, that one. The one next to it's pretty good. The one behind it's pretty good. There's one over here. That's pretty good. There's what looks like a white one. That's going to be pretty good. I can't get it to focus. Sorry about that. There it goes. Back there, there's another couple orange ones. I mean, purple ones over here. Pretty good. And then more turnips. I had harvested the potatoes. I didn't get that on video. They did it late night. But more turnips. I'm just as a test. I'm not sure they're gonna like it over this heat and they'll develop well in this heat. But they are growing. That. If they haven't really shown any signs of bulbing up by mid to late August, I'll just start the real batch of them then. I have plenty of seeds. Bachelor's buttons are still still here. I'll be cutting them down soon. And the strawberries, getting ready for next year. That's about it, I guess, right? Lavender's coming its way out. And this is the front mix here. I mean, the salvias do look nice, I guess, but I don't know. I still feel like I'd like to use this area for something else. There's just too much here with the echinacea, peonies, the salvias. It just looks a little wild and crazy. I mean, the pollinators like it, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like I could improve this area. Oh, here's the straw flower. I mean, it's kind of interesting. The texture of the flower, I guess I see why they call it paper or straw flower, because it's like a papery kind of kind of texture. It is kind of neat, but I don't know if it's worth it. The roses that I cut back, they need some weeding, some deadheading. It's just been so hot. And the volunteer sunchokes in the front. I did not plant these this year. This is holdovers from last year. You'll always get them. Once you have sunchokes, once you plant them, you'll always have them if you want them. All right, peace.